Hey, Froe here for another Let's Play episode. Today we're on episode 10. I can't believe I've already made it this far. So, those of you who don't know, I started this Let's Play to kind of just showcase the history of my world that I started from scratch here, but also to help motivate me to continue to play the game and in different and unique ways. I've been playing the game for quite a long time now, so I think it's been a really good way to re-energize myself for the game. But I never thought that I would actually really make it, as far as I have so far. Not that I'm really that far, but episode 10 is a pretty good milestone to hit for a fresh new series like this. So I'm excited. Anyways, between episodes, I worked on the cow farm a little bit, the grazing fields. I want you to notice that we got this fence done. And I also built up a cliffside over here. So instead of just letting this fence continue all the way to the sea over here, I just decided to like level off this hill and build a little cliffside over here. I think it adds a little bit more character to it than just having another fence go all the way down. On top of that, I can also build up there something kind of cool and have some good overviews of the cow farm here. I also worked on this area a little bit. Scary noises. Again, I built the path up here, did a little bit of a cliffside. The tree looks really cool from this angle, I think. Initially, I didn't like the leaves I used, the oak leaves. I was gonna maybe switch them out to jungle, but I actually think they look really good now, the more I kind of look at them. And then I also worked on the cliffside over here. So I added a little bit of a cliff down here. Besides that, all I did between episodes was just work on mining and gathering resources. I'm a little bit hungry though, so let's get a snack. Yum. Cool. So we're back at the grazing fields. I released my horde of mushrooms. I'm gonna harvest them and take care of them in just a little bit. Before I do that though, I wanted to show you, I'm doing a little bit of a long-term experiment here. So I want to try to use llamas throughout my base as like a mobile storage system. And the way llamas work, from my understanding, is they have different strength levels. So a strength level of 1 will let them have 3 inventory spots. A strength level of 2 will be 6 inventory spots. A strength level of 3 would be 9, which is what this llama has. And then 4 would be 12, and then 5 would be 15. So basically every strength level increases the number of columns you have by 1. For a maximum of 15 storage spots, which is the end goal here. The problem is all of these guys are strength 3 right now, so they all have 9 inventory spots, and the probability or the chance of getting to the next level, the strength 4, is only 4% every time I breed these llamas. So I've been working on that for a while. I started with just 2 strength 3 guys, and now I'm up to 4, hopefully 5 in a little bit here. We'll see how strong this one is. But I just wanted to show you that little bit of a long-term project. Let's go ahead and take care of these cows next then. We'll start by breeding them, and then we'll take care of thinning the herd. Got to get my diamond blade out so that I can use it for looting 3. Get rid of my true blade for now. I also got a legendary iron axe between episodes, so that's pretty neat. It's got a huge amount of attack damage, like almost twice as much as my true blade. And I think we can add sharpness to it too, so this might be a really good weapon to try out. Cow cave. So while the steak is cooking up here, I noticed that there's a little bit of a problem with this build that I did last episode. The minecart is empty right now, but it's still running. And the reason why is there's still steak inside of this hopper here. As soon as I take the steak out, or raw beef I guess, it's going to turn off. And that's not a big issue if you're only smelting like 1 or 2 stacks of items at a time. But if you're smelting several stacks at a time to the point where this whole furnace, so I think it's over 4 stacks, if you're smelting over 4 stacks at a time, then the furnaces are going to fill up and cause the minecart to run indefinitely. So I got to think about a way I can fix that. And here we are a little while later, and I made some changes to the system. Previously, I had it so that any number of items inside of this hopper at all would cause the minecart to bounce back and forth forever. I've now made it so that if there's over 22 items inside of here, then the minecart's going to stop in the corner over there. So here I'm going to add another item, so now we're at 23, so the minecart automatically stops over there. And as soon as I take one of these items out, it's going to continue to bounce back and forth now. And the way I did this is actually pretty simple. This comparator is detecting the number of items inside the hopper. As soon as the number of items is at 23 or higher, then this second redstone signal is going to turn on, which comes all the way around here and powers this block. And then this block is powering, or it has a torch attached. And this torch then is feeding into this block, which is powering the rail. When there's more than 22 items inside of this hopper, then it's going to turn on, which is going to turn off the torch over here, turning off the power rail. And the reason why I wanted the minecart to stop here and not over here is I don't have a hopper underneath here. So now the items are just going to stay inside of the minecart until this hopper clears out of items. So it's a little bit better of a solution, because previously if I had like all of these items inside, the minecart would just bounce back and forth forever. But now I've reduced it so that it's only 22 or fewer. So it makes it so that the system is significantly smarter and in its operation. With that said, I'm going to clean this up in a little bit here. But with that said, let's move on to our main project for today, which is going to be the Sacrificer 2.0. And we're at the Sacrificer 2.0. So just a reminder, the way this works is you drop items off that want to be sacrificed. And then you let the system run for as long as you want. You press this button to sacrifice. The item that is sacrificed pops out here. And the other ones I have it set up where they're going to pop out over here automatically. What I want to do is when you press this button and before the item gets sacrificed, I want to have a firework display come out right over here. There's like this ledge right over here that I think would be a good place to have a little bit of a display. So somewhere around over here. So then the fireworks will go up, it'll be kind of cinematic and look really cool. And that's the plan. And I figured before we do the display itself, let's just play around with the rockets. I've never actually really used fireworks before. Obviously I used them for flight, but never like in the theatrical sense like I'm gonna do here. So what I have is a strength 1, 2, and 3 rocket. I just want to see how high they want to be, because I want to be able to see them nice and clearly from up there. So this is about how high a level 1 is. Good. Okay, level 2. Whoa. Okay, that one was pretty cool. And then level 3. Wow. Okay. I think, well, yeah, okay, so yeah, that's actually pretty awesome. If you do strength 2 and 3 is probably the way I'll go. You notice strength 1 is just a little bit too low. It's like right at eye level. We want it a little bit higher up. So I think I'm going to do strength 2 and strength 3 rockets. And then right now I really don't have very many colors to choose from. I don't have any easy way to farm them up to. So maybe we'll work on that today as well. I think it'd be cool to do a semicircular pattern for the display as well. So I'm standing at the center of the build. And so we're going to go maybe have the circle start here. Have it go out. Hey, get out of the way. We'll have it go out 3 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll have our first dispenser here. It'll be a length of 3. And then this will be the pattern we follow. Like 2 and 1, 2, and then this will be another 3. So dispenser goes here. And then there'll be 2 more blocks, corner, 2 more blocks, and then another set of 3 over here. So the other dispenser will go here. And so that's a total of 3 dispensers. We can add more in the corners, like right here if we wanted. I think would be a good spot. Take a look at that. So we have a dispenser 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a semicircular pattern. Is that